All right, all right. This is going to be a quick one. I just came in from Tulsa, Oklahoma. I was out there with some awesome business owners, and I was talking to a few guys who own service businesses, and they're currently running Google ads. And a lot of them were saying that their budgets were just getting burned up by these ads, that they aren't very consistent with running the ads because they feel like they don't really get the returns that they're expecting. And that usually happens for one of five different reasons. And we're going to go over those today, but we know that you're wind up paying for clicks that will never convert. And the biggest reason is that Google makes it incredibly easy for you to spend money. A lot of the default settings and the way that they walk you through the setup of these ads is more to maximize their individual revenue, not yours. And so if you use a lot of the default or recommended settings, all you're really doing is just subsidizing Google's stock price. You're not really moving the needle for your business. So it's not that the Google ads don't work, it's that your setup is broken and needs to be optimized so that you can get the results that you're after. Okay. So mistake number one is casting a net that is way too wide. Okay. So let's talk about those single search terms where a lot of people are bidding, right? You decide that you're going to bid on single search terms like roofer or plumber. And the reality is that when you do that, you wind up paying for searches like plumber salary, how to be a roofer, or DIY plumbing. And so by casting the net way too wide, you wind up pulling in terms that are loosely related, but these are people who are in no way buyers for your service. So the fix is to use high intent, long tailed keywords. So instead of just HVAC or something like that, you could say emergency AC repair near me. So you want to make sure that you're targeting high intent keywords so that you stop paying for people who are like DIYers or job seekers, and your budget is just getting burned on people who really aren't there to actually utilize your service. They're just looking at something that's loosely related to it, right? So you have to be intentional. That's mistake number one, is that they aren't intentional and they're casting a net that's way too wide. Now, number two is the silent budget killer. You are not telling Google what searches to ignore. Okay. So if you bid on roof repair, you will also show up for things like free roof repair grants, unless you block the word free. So the fix is that you have to also build a really robust negative keyword list. You have to not only tell Google who you want to find, you also want to tell them who you want to exclude. Okay. A negative keyword is a shield against wasted ad spend. Okay. Now, number three is that they are typically sending very urgent clicks to a generic homepage. So let's say that a user clicks on emergency furnace repair ad and then they land on just your generic website. The panicked users aren't going to hunt for info. They're going to hit back and call your competitor. Okay. And so you need to make it as easy as possible for a person to land on your page, give you their information, and get in contact with you. And you do that by having dedicated landing pages for each of your repairs. If the ad says AC repair, the landing page is also referencing AC repair, and it has one goal, which is get the lead or get them to call into the business. But by sending them to your overall website or just your generic homepage, you are giving them far too many options, and it gives them the opportunity to, again, either click around on your website and never actually reach out, or they'll leave and they'll go talk to somebody else because your process wasn't as seamless as the other guys. Okay. So if you paid for the click, don't let your user experience hand the lead to somebody else. Make it easy to get their information and then use speed to lead to communicate with them and make things happen. Right. So now we've got mistakes number four and five here, which again is default settings and then flying blind. Okay, so default location settings. Google typically defaults to people who are in or who show interest in your targeted locations. And the result is that you wind up paying for clicks that are from 2 states away sometimes. So you have to change it to present, people who are in or regularly in your targeted locations, not just people who show interest in your targeted locations. Okay, so that's another area where the default settings are kind of holding you back. And then, of course, flying blind, that means you don't have any conversion tracking. So you're running ads without tracking how many calls and forms are coming in from this ad spend. So you don't know which keywords are making the phone ring. And as such, you wind up continuously spending money on keywords that aren't really moving the needle. And rather than increasing the spend on the keywords that do move the needle. So the fix is, of course, building out systems that track everything, kill the losers, and fund the winners. Okay. So this is actually a case study, a real world application for an HVAC company that we were working with. They were a $2 million HVAC contractor. They were already spending around 5K a month on Google ads, and their cost per lead was over $150. But they were getting so many junk calls, so many people who were not the ideal customer for them. And our intervention was we added 400 plus negative keywords. So we eliminated a huge chunk of people by getting rid of those negative keywords. We changed the location settings to only people who are living in that area. And then we built dedicated landing pages around their services to make things simpler, right? And the result was that the junk calls dropped by 90%. Okay. Now, the cost per lead also dropped to $72 per lead, and they generated twice as many booked jobs on the exact same budget. Okay, so they didn't spend a dollar more on ads, they just fixed the buckets that things fall into. Okay, so it's very important that you optimize these ads. It's very important that you aren't just getting on there and clicking start and then letting them spend your money, because if you're not dictating who you want these ads to show to, and you don't dictate who you don't want those ads to be shown to, you're going to wind up burning a lot of money, and that's going to upset you. And then you're not going to continue to run ads. And ads are something that, in my opinion, you need in order to grow with consistency, because they give you a scalable and predictable amount of fresh leads coming in every single month. And that compounds over time if you have your systems built out the right way. So, with all that in mind, I got to ask, do you have these same links, these same leaks, right? Before you increase your ad budget, you need to know if your current spend is actually efficient. So, have you reviewed your search terms report in the last 30 days? Are you currently sending ad traffic to your homepage or to a dedicated landing page? Do you know your exact cost per acquisition for a book job from Google Ads? And if you don't know the exact answers, there's a likelihood that your revenue is leaking. Okay, so what we want to do is offer a solution. You can find out where you're bleeding revenue. If you suspect that you are wasting money with your advertising online, we can help you find out. So we do a free revenue leak audits for trades businesses. And what we'll do is we will audit your ad account. We'll take a look at the advertising that you're running. We'll go through the entire customer experience. We're going to see what it's like to try and contact you. And after a day of us doing that, we're going to create a custom video for you pointing out all of the holes and how you can go about fixing them. And at the end of that video, you'll have a complete blueprint on how to fix the advertising in your business, whether you decide to work with us or not. So there's going to be a link down below. You can click it, go to growwithtradeos.com/audit. Tell us a little bit about your business, and we will get your video into production and get it over to you. So it's not a sales pitch. You don't have to block off time on your calendar. We're going to send you a video and you can watch it at your leisure and just get a good blueprint on what to do. So growwithtradeos.com/audit. We will see you on the next one. And just remember, You didn't build this business just to subsidize Google. So it's important for you to dial in your systems so that your entire advertising budget isn't just raising Google's stock price, it's also growing your business as well. Okay, so we'll see you on the other side. Go to growwithtradeos.com/audit, and we will get your video made for you, give you a blueprint, and show you what we can make happen for you. So see you on the next one. Bye.